No? Good. Let's continue then. So first thing here, we want to, just a little pre-ramble here. Equations are like onions. Inside, we have an x plus 4. Okay? What we want to do is unwrap that until we have the x. So what's the first layer that must be removed? Yeah. So we see a plus 4. That you want to write down. So what's the opposite of plus 4? Do a minus 4 to both sides. Okay. And to show your work then, we simply go minus 4, minus 4. And as you should know, this side cancels out completely. It's gone. And what's left is the letter x. And we have x equals 2 minus 4. Now you guys can put your answers down. Sometimes we usually use like this big kind of an answer line. Okay, so there's our work and there's the answer. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Yes?
Can't you just do 2 minus 4?
That's just what I said.
Yeah.
What did I write on the board there about the show work, y for each step? There's a reason for my madness. Okay, I'm trying to explain something simple, so tomorrow you're going to get every question right. Next, what do you see that we have to remove? Negative 8. It's very important. Now, negative signs are subtraction signs. They're the same thing. So what do? A plus 8. So what often when I say, write this down here, is you want to do the opposite. By opposite, the opposite math operation. And then you also have to keep it equal or balanced. Have you guys seen the balance method? So right now, here's a balance. It's like a teeter-totter. It's balanced. So if we just go minus 8 on one side, what happens to the balance is it tips. Either tips this direction, or it completely tips in that direction. Okay, and then it's not equal. So we don't just subtract negative 8 from one side, but to keep the balance, we also go minus 8 on the other side. Sorry, that's right. That wouldn't change anything. So we want to go plus 8, like I wrote down. And so we get canceling on the left. Your equal sign should be straight below. That's the key. Do not move your equal sign anywhere. And what's negative 15 plus 8? Negative 7. Good. Try the next one yourself. Go. So for your work, I'm looking to see a minus 1.5, minus 1.5. And then you can say x equals negative 4. Okay. Did you show work exactly right? Good. So now we get a few, those are the basic ones. Now we get into some weird stuff. What about this one? What should we do here? What do we have to get rid of? Wrong. Negative 8. Always look in front. So we should see a minus 8. And what should we do? Plus 8. Both sides. So right underneath the 8, do your line. X equals negative 5. Is that right? Good. Okay. Are your equal signs lining up? They should. Okay, it's going to be so helpful. What about the next one? What do you see? Yeah, who cares? What do you see? Negative 2/3. So what should you do? Plus 2/3. So we go plus 2/3, plus 2/3. And here, this is what I do. X equals, 5/6 plus what? Because we can't add 2/3 unless we have a common denominator. So what should it be? 4/6. And then we can go x equals what? 9/6. Lowest terms, don't go to mix though. Lowest terms is fine. 3/2. Awesome. Do the next one by. Okay, so minus 3/5, minus 3/5. Oh, I wrote it there. Is that okay?
No.
Yeah, why not? Who cares? You can sure work a little bit differently. Common denominator, 40? So this would be 25 over 40. This would be 24 over 40. And so x, is that right? Stand by one. Let's just show our work. Common denominators, times 5 times 5, yeah. Times 8 times 8, yep, I'm right. And then it's 1 over 40 is your answer. Hands up if you got that. Awesome. All right. So now those are all adding or subtracting. Always do first, okay? Add or subtract first. You want to always add, subtract first. That's the first part of the onion to remove, the first layer. What's second? Multiply, divide. You want to do that last. Okay? So now we have 3x equals 12. What do you see? Times 3. So what do? Divide by 3. Now stop, don't write down. For math at the higher levels, you show divisions like you would fractions. Okay, so divide by 3 using your fraction line. That's a more correct way of doing that because that might just be a fractional answer. Okay, so write it this method. 3's cancel. X equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay. Good. Next, what do you see? No, you don't see a negative 5. What do you see? No, you don't see a negative 5. No, you don't see that. What's the math operation you see? Times negative 5. It's not a subtraction anymore because they're side by side. So this is a times negative 5. So what should you do? Divide by negative 5. Again, use your fraction line because you might get fraction answers. Ooh, what is this one? Negative 12, 14? Negative 14? I want to check that because you guys aren't saying yes. Good, negative 14. Okay, next one, do it yourself. Go, be careful. Please write down what you see, write down what you do. Okay, so you should write down C times negative 6. So you do a divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. X equals positive 7. All right. Hands up if you got that. Good. Next one. Okay, here's some weird ones. 2x equals 5 over 4. What do you see? Times 2. So what do? Divide by 2. So divide by 2. What should we do over here? You guys stuck? 2 over 1? Nope. Let's just try. I'll show you what this is. Divide by 2. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. And so we have x equals 5 over 4 divided by 2. But what should we do instead of divide by 2 with fractions? Right? This is over 1, so this is times 1 over 2. Oh, multiply by the reciprocal. We never divide. Multiply by the reciprocal of fractions. X equals 5 over 8. Now let's try it the old way. Watch this. I'm going to show you a different way. 2x equals 5 over 4. So if I'm dividing by 2, whoops, use red. If I'm dividing by 2, that's kind of like expanding this line and going times 2 below. Because that would give you x equals 5 over 8. If you go 4 times 2 on the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to show you other ways to do this a little bit easier, so don't be too concerned about this one. Okay, this is very rare. All right. Next one, show your work. Go. Yes, with decimals, please use a calculator. You'll need to, okay? Round to 1 decimal. Sorry, round to 3 decimals. Actually, don't round. Show me the exact answer, please. Do not round. Show me the exact answer. So you should put 0.618. Repeat bar over the 1 and the 8. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, let's skip these ones. Cross these off. We're going to see those later, how to do those a bit easier, okay? What should we do here? What do you see? Yeah, we're in this middle one right here now. What math operation? Good, we see a divide by -5, so what should you do? Times by -5. So what I like to do is use a multiplication dot and just write it in front. And this one, that's okay if I write it behind. It's the same thing. And then I always love to show that they cancel with a line. And then x equals -50. Okay. Okay, what about the next one? What do you see? Divide by 3. What do you do? Times by 3. What's -2/5 times 3? Well, -2/5 times 3/1 if you have to. But you should see that it's -6/5. Right? You just multiply the tops. Okay. This one you should put a box around if you didn't get that. That's one you should always look at. Okay, star with different color or something like that. Okay. Okay, do the next one by yourself. Go. Do the next 2, please. Do the next 2. Alright. So what do you guys see for the first one? Divide by -1.5. So times by -1.5. What does x equal? I don't trust you guys. Did you guys notice I didn't use my negative signs? Why would I use my negative signs when I did this? Exactly. That's right, because I know the rules. I know I have 2 negatives, so my final answer is positive. No need to worry about negative signs. In fact, does Mr. Barker ever put in a negative sign in the calculator? Nope, very, very rarely. In fact, I don't remember if I ever do. When I put in this calculator onto my computer, I have to figure out where the negative sign was. Oh, it's right there. Oh, look at that. Didn't even know that. Okay, times 1.3. So, what does x equal?
1.04. Wow.
1.04. Yeah, exactly. Now, is this the best way to show work? No. I shouldn't be lazy. I should go times -1.5 times 1.3. Now, later on, you can start showing a bit less work, and we'll talk about that. But for today, go crazy. Okay, next one. Why is this one so different than all the rest that we've seen? Dustin. Exactly, yeah, the x is on the bottom, or what do we call that? The denominator. So what we have to do is we have to remove x from the basement. I call it the basement. I don't know why. It's big, scary, dark, and there's lots of spiders. X is scared. It's got to get out first. So what do we want to do? What we see is a divide by x. So what do we want to do? Times x. So times x times x. What happens to the left side? They cancel. So 6 equals 3x. Wow, that's easy, isn't it? We've seen that before. Solve it. Go. As soon as you get x out of the basement, it's a very easy question. Okay. So divide by 3, 2 equals x. Is it okay if I write 2 equals x? Yeah, I got no problem with it whatsoever. Some teachers say, no, you got to put x first. You know what? I don't believe in that. I think you guys are smart enough to see the value of x. Okay? All right, turn it over. You know what? Let's, this is old. Yep. Let's go to this one. This one. No. Uh-oh, I know I put it in here. This one, right? This what you guys got? Good. Okay, so 2 steps to unwrap or solve. So what we want to do, if this is our onion, what's the layer that must come off first? The plus 4. What do we do first? Add or subtract. Say that to me with me. Add or subtract first. Add or subtract first. Add or subtract first. Good. So what do we want to do is we want to go minus 4. Or you know what, for the reason, we can say C plus 4 do minus 4. Okay? So we can go minus 4, 5x equals what? 15? Good. So now in red, I'm going to go, what do we see? Times 5. So what do we do? Divide by 5. So divide by 5 both sides. X equals 3. It is, isn't it? Okay. Next one. What's the reason? You guys do this one by yourself. See what you can do. Okay, negative 4/3 is probably the best answer. We should leave it as that. Okay, negative 4/3. Some of them won't be that cooked up. Did everyone get that? Negative 4/3? Good. Did you write your reasons? Perfect. Okay. So now it says solve and check. We'll talk about checking later. But these look hard. Only thing we have to do first is collect like terms. Oh, just like last unit. Yeah. So here's 2x and negative 5x. How many altogether?
Negative 3x.
Good. The negative 5 is by itself. Your equal signs should line up, and I'm over a bit, so I'm going to move them back because I really want you to see that. It's really important that your equal sign matches up. And then what's 13 plus 9? 22. Good. Is this anything different than what's above? Nope, exactly the same. Exactly the same. Okay. So, yep, do C and do real quick. Write your reasons, please. I see a minus 5, so I should do a plus 5. X equals negative 9. Did you guys get that? Okay, so this, now we got to do a check. I hope you saved some room. Okay, so for your check, you want to substitute and see if your left side equals your right side. Okay, so we write out 2x minus 5x minus 5 equals 13 plus 9. Left side equals right side. Left LS is left side equals RS, which is right side. Okay, so left side, I'll write it out, equals right side. Okay. So we have to put x in here and here. We get 2 times negative 9 minus 5 times negative 9 minus 5 equals 13 plus 9. Mr. Barker likes to put down the Great Wall of Check. You are not crossing that equal sign. You are not crossing that equal sign. You are not crossing that equal sign. Okay? Do not cross it. On the right, we get 22. What about on the left? You got to do a little bit of algebra. Negative 18 plus 45 minus 5. Ooh, what's negative 18? Oh, that's a tough one. 45 minus 18. 27 minus 5. 22 equals 22. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Left side equals right side. That is a check. Yes?
Can you just use the simplified one and do like -3?
Yeah, you can totally. Only problem is, if you made a mistake getting to that point, then you're going to see it and your mistake's correct. Okay, so, but sometimes with the harder ones, like on day 4, I suggest actually to do that because it is easier. Okay. Yeah. Did you? Awesome. You guys are going to be just great at this stuff. Okay, if you did this last year, do number 4. Go. Who was your teacher, Leah? Yes, Miss Spindler is a really good teacher. She likes to guys get you ready for grade 9. She knows how important this is. Oh. Okay, so after you solved, I want you to check. So, let's go 3 times 8 minus 6 times 8 minus 8 plus 7 times 8 equals 4 plus 20. It's okay to spread it out. That's no big deal. I always put down my Great Wall of Check because I don't want to cross the equal sign. Okay. Now go ahead and do your little bit of math, see what you get. The fraction. Okay? But it's the same idea. What's the first thing you should do to unwrap this equation? Sarah? Addition or subtraction. What's the last thing you usually do? Well, the last thing you always do. Multiply or divide. Okay? 90% of the time, it's going to be a division. 90% of the time, you will divide 90%. Okay? However, for questions like this, you won't. So the first thing you should do is minus 9. And you get negative 15 minus 9, negative 24.
Yeah.
Good. So now what should you do? What do you see? What I see is divide by 5. So what I should do is times by 5. Okay? So x equals negative 120. Good. Okay. We won't check that. Well, we could if we wanted to. Okay, but we don't really need to. Okay.